Hello and welcome to Big Questions, the show where I answer some big questions, as the title implies. I am Anavultus, and today's question is: what does Brexit mean for democracy? So before we really get into the topic, let's just talk about democracy. What is democracy? Democracy is when the citizens of a nation, or a large citizen body of the nation, decide the main legislative issues of the nation, or at least elect leaders to do so. So in the case of the European Union, there are some parts of the legislation in the European Union that are not elected by the citizens in the European Union. And as such, it is really a undemocratic process, because you have these leaders that go to Brussels and other places who are not elected by your country, and then your people don't have a say in any of this. So then what happens is, then they come up with laws that you have to follow. And so you have to follow somebody else's laws that you didn't even have a say on. And in this terms of the United States, which is the nation I am living in right now at the moment, I mean, I have lived in other countries at other times, no taxation without representation. So the important part of that phrase is not the taxation part, it is the representation. Because in the United States history, as some of you may know, not all of you, I don't expect everyone to know everything about all of the different parts of history, but in the United States history, there is the American Revolution, or the Independence War, or whatever you want to call it, in which the various colonies that the British had on the eastern coast of North America, with the exclusion of Canada, of course, decided to rebel because they believed that they were not being properly represented in England itself, in the sense that they had no say on what the taxes were that they had to pay, and also one big issue as well was slavery, if you would believe that. Some colonies had tried to abolish slavery in 1773 and 1774, but the central government actually shut down this abolitionist process as well in 1774, and forced the colonies that wanted to get rid of the slavery to accept slavery as an institution. Of course, most of the colonies, once they had been made independent, got rid of slavery by 1800. Of course, the southern ones didn't, and as the nation grew, some new slave states emerged. But in the end, it ended in the 1860s, when a civil war broke out and Abraham Lincoln made the Emancipation Proclamation, in which the Confederate slaves were freed, and later on the Union slaves were freed as well. Because the American Civil War wasn't about slavery, as in slavery was an issue of it, but it wasn't really about slavery, as can be seen by the fact that a number of slave states remained in the Union. But anyway, back onto Brexit. So the citizens of the United Kingdom, from what I've heard, mostly the ones in England and Wales, and to a lesser extent in Northern Ireland and Scotland, many of them probably believe that the European Union would be bad for the United Kingdom in one way or another, and that is why they voted in favor of Brexit with an over 1 million point lead in the votings over those who decide to remain. And some important things to note in this, it's not just about democracy in the UK. It's also about immigration policy and trade deals as well. But let's focus on the democracy part for now. So, in the UK, they can elect their members of parliament, but in the EU, there's these unelected leaders, and so people in the UK, they vote for their own leaders in the UK, and these leaders make their own legislation and such things, which is fine in a democratic sense. But had to clear my throat there. But when then you come around the European Union, the UK, as members of the European Union, institutes certain laws. And the fact is that many of these laws have nothing to do with the actual voters in the UK. So this is undemocratic. Of course, I'm not saying that democracy should be forced on people, because that doesn't work, as we have seen time and time again in places where the populace itself does not favor democracy. But in places where people do value democracy, it would not make sense to support a process in which the laws of your country are made by unelected individuals. So anyway, that is my thoughts on what Brexit has to do with democracy. And we'll see if other countries will choose the same. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know exactly what the future has in hold for the European Union, but currently stocks are plunging at the time I am making this video, which is literally the day after the vote. And, well, I also heard that stocks went up a couple days ago, so that's the weird thing about the stock market. Sometimes people will manipulate it in order to convey certain feelings. For example, the stocks may have gone up a couple days ago in order to then give the impression that it was Brexit that caused them to fall, even though perhaps they went up and down simply to create that illusion. Of course, they are going down because of Brexit in other ways. But I'm just saying that the stocks from yesterday to today, you have to take into account that people were awaiting Brexit and were wondering what was going to happen, because people get really nervous about these things. That's the dangerous thing about working in the stock market. People get nervous, and then they decide, you know what, we are going to change the prices on these stocks. We're going to buy this, sell this. And that's why the stock market is a bit unstable all the time, pretty much. It's unstable all the time, which means it's always a risk, but if you want to invest in it, good on you. So anyway, I suppose that is my opinion on the matter. If you have anything to add to the conversation, if you have any other questions to ask, if you have any question that would make a great subject for this show, please do so in the comments below. If you like this video, then like it. If you do not like it, then dislike it and leave a comment as to what was wrong with it. And if you would like to subscribe, please do. If you'd like to watch other videos, you can go to my channel, and there are plenty of videos to watch. Not all of them are these political discussion videos. A lot of them is gaming, but if you make requests, I will make videos. That is something that I can guarantee you. I will listen to requests, and I suppose that's a good thing. if you disagree with that, then please feel free to comment. Oh no, YouTubers shouldn't do requests. I can't imagine why anybody would not want me to do requests. I mean, it sounds like a very democratic idea. There you go. Tied it back to the front of the video, tied it back. See, everything is connected in some way. And I suppose that's all for today. And Wiltos over and out. And I will see you all next time.